Hello friends, this video on human reproduction part 19 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. So now we will talk about embryonic development, how the embryo develops inside. Now, what happens once the implantation is done? As I said just now, so once the implantation is done, a connection develops between the embryo and the mother, because the embryo needs nutrition in order to grow. For example, if you have a small kid in your house, that kid needs a lot of nutritious stuff to grow his height, to grow in weight, etc. He needs a lot of nutritious stuff, and that is why he is given a healthy diet, right? But in case of this embryo, this also needs to grow. For that, this also needs nutrition. But who will supply nutrition to the embryo? So a connection is established between the embryo and the mother's body, so that the nutrients will come automatically from the mother's body. And this is the reason why pregnant women are always advised to have a good diet, because the kind of diet which they are taking, the kind of food which they are taking, a part of it is actually going to the embryo. So a part of it is actually consumed by the embryo for its growth. So a very good diet is extremely important for a pregnant woman. Okay, so for this, in order to establish this connection between the mother and the embryo, placenta formation takes place. Now this is a new term again. So what is placenta? So let us understand this. So placenta is the structural and functional link between the mother and the fetus. What is fetus? Fetus is a term which is used for the developing embryo. Right? Initially we use the term zygote, then the zygote develops into an embryo, and then the embryo gradually becomes a fetus, then the fetus becomes a baby. So these are different terms used for the same thing. Now, placenta acts as a structural link because physically that structure connects the baby with the mother. So that is why it is structural link. Why it is functional link? Because due to the presence of this link, the nutrients are transferred from the mother's body to the baby's body. So it is actually working functionally to provide nutrition to the baby. So that is how it is a functional link between the mother and the fetus. So now the question is, how exactly the embryo will develop after the implantation. So how this placenta will be formed, and even after the placenta is formed, how exactly, what are the stages through which the inner mass of cells undergo so that it develops into a small baby. So let us have a quick look at that. So first let us try to understand how placenta formation takes place, how placenta is formed. Now the placenta is formed in 8 to 9 days. So the formation of placenta itself will take this much of time. So it doesn't happen just at the spur of a moment. It takes time. So some 8 to 9 days will take for the formation of placenta. So let us see what exactly is placenta and how is it formed. Now the placenta structure is composed of two components. What are the two components? The fetal placenta and the maternal placenta. So a part of the placenta will be formed from the fetal body, and a part of the placenta will be formed from the mother's body. And these two components will join together to form what is called placenta. Now let us see what is fetal placenta and what is maternal placenta. Now, fetal placenta is formed from trophoblast of blastocyst. You remember this was the blastocyst, and the outer layer of blastocyst was trophoblast. So that outer layer which actually attaches to the endometrium, so that same layer will give rise to fetal placenta. So some of the cells of the trophoblast will form the fetal placenta. Now what about the maternal placenta? So the maternal placenta will be formed from the mother's body. Now let us see how exactly it forms. So after this stage, if you see, there are some hair-like outgrowth which are seen on the outermost layer or on the trophoblast. So these finger-like projections which appear on the trophoblast, they are called chorionic villi. So these structures are called chorionic villi, and they are present on the outermost surface of the trophoblast. So this is how the fetal placenta is being formed. Now this will combine with the uterine tissue, that is the tissues present on the walls of the uterus. So uterus is a part of the mother's body, right? So the uterine tissue is contributing for the maternal placenta. right? So this chorionic villi will combine with the uterine tissue to form the placenta. So on behalf of the fetal placenta, you have the chorionic villi which are present on the outermost, which are present in the form of projections on the trophoblast, and on behalf of the maternal placenta, you have the uterine tissue, that is the tissues which are present on the wall of the uterus. Now both of these will combine together to form the structure called placenta. So the maternal placenta develops from the uterine tissue, as I said. So this is how placenta will be formed. Now let us see how the placenta will look like. So this is how placenta will look like. So you see, this is the outermost villi or the chorionic villi which is seen, and these here, I mean, this entire thing is the uterus, if you can see, right? So here, this is the fetus, or this is the fetus or the embryo, whatever you call it. So you see the inner mass of cell is gradually developing into a small baby. So now you can actually see a rough sketch of a baby. So this baby is connected by these rod-like structures to the mother's uterus. So this structure here is the placenta, and this rod-like structure which connects the baby's abdomen to the placenta is known as the umbilical cord. So this is another important term which you should know. So this placenta and umbilical cord keeps the baby always connected to the mother, and through this all the nutrients come inside the fetal body. So this was about the placenta formation. So now let us look at the role of placenta. So see, in this picture it will be more clear to you. Now it is like at a later stage when the baby is quite developed, but still here you can see this cord which you see, that is the umbilical cord. So this cord starts from the abdomen of the fetus and it connects to the placenta, and this structure is the placenta, which is formed from the wall of the uterus. So what is the role of placenta? Okay, before that, let's, as I said, the umbilical cord. So it is nothing but a navel string. It arises from the fetus abdomen and connects to the placenta. So here you can see the cord, and this cord is the umbilical cord. Right, now, what are the important roles or important functions of placenta? So one important thing is that it helps to provide nutrients to the fetus from the mother's body, but there are other functions as well. So first thing, as I said, nutrients come into fetus from mother's blood. So it will carry all the good things into the fetus from mother's blood. It will also take away all the wastes from the fetus into the mother's blood, because this baby is now all caged inside the uterus, right? So the mother can excrete out the waste products through her excretory system. So what happens is all the wastes inside the fetus will sent to the mother's blood through the placenta, and then the mother's blood will actually do the job of excretion. So the excretory system will take care of all those wastes. Exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide. So the fetus needs oxygen, so oxygen will come in through the placenta. Carbon dioxide is not required, so carbon dioxide will go out through the placenta. So all the things which is to be taken in or given out, that will happen via placenta. Placenta will, this structure will also help in the production of several hormones like human chorionic gonadotropin, that is HCG, human placental lactogen, that is HPL, estrogen and progesterone. Now this estrogen and progesterone, you have seen that they were being produced before also. Progesterone was mostly produced by the corpus luteum, and they were like, they actually control a lot of female sexual characters. But the hormones like HCG and HPL, they are exclusively produced in a woman only during pregnancy. Otherwise, these hormones are not produced. So they are produced only due to the formation of this placenta. Now, also it has been observed that in a pregnant woman, the levels of the hormones like estrogen, thyroxine or progesterone, they increase a lot when compared to a normal female, and this is to support the fetal growth, because when a woman is pregnant, she needs to take care of the proper growth of the fetus as well. So all the internal hormonal balance changes in order to accommodate this new change inside the body. So all these are the special hormones which are being produced in a woman exclusively during pregnancy. So the placenta also plays a very important role in the secretion of these hormones. So now let us look at the various stages of the embryo development. How that one single celled zygote gives rise, actually form a baby inside the uterus. So let us look at the various stages of the embryo development. So what are the stages it passes through? So the story starts from the same old zygote, the single cell, a diploid cell. So from the zygote, it forms the blastomeres, which are formed as a result of repeated mitotic division, the 2-cell, 4-cell, 8-cell stages. From there, it forms the morula, which in itself contains a lot of blastomeres. From there, it forms the blastocyst, as you can see here, this kind of a structure. From there, it gets implanted. So here you see, if it gets implanted, the implantation happens. So it attaches itself to the endometrium. So what happens here? Attachment to endometrium. So that is how it connects, or it gets fixed to the uterus. Then what happens? Then the cells which are present there, they start differentiating to form different layers of cells. So there are 3 layers of cells are formed: ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm. So the ectoderm is the outer layer of cells, endoderm the inner layer of cells, and mesoderm is the middle layer of cells. So these 3 layers of cells develop, and from these 3 layers all other tissues develop. From the tissues develops the organs, from the organs develop the organ system. Now the inner cell mass, that is the inner layer, also contains some special cells known as the stem cells. And what is the speciality about the stem cells? These stem cells have the capability to give rise to all the tissues and organs of the body. That is why these days a new technique have come up that when a female is pregnant, there is an option in the hospitals that you can actually preserve your stem cells. So if you preserve your stem cells, you are actually preserving a cell which is capable of giving rise to all the tissues, all the organ systems of your baby, because that stem cells will have those capability, and it is possible to preserve those stem cells. So the innermost layer of cells contain these stem cells, and from these cells, over a period of time, with repeated divisions, all the tissues, organs and organ systems will develop, and that is what is happening here. So here if you see the different layers of cells, they start dividing and organizing themselves and finally give rise to a fetus like this. So after these, the first organ that is formed in a baby is the heart, and it is formed when the baby is just 1 month. The baby is 1 month starting from the day the zygote was formed. So when it is 1 month from the zygote formation, the heart is formed. So no other parts or organs of the body are formed, but the heart is formed, and the heartbeat can actually be felt using a stethoscope, and that is what the doctors check, just to see, okay, if the heart is functioning properly or not. Again, when it is yet another 1 month, so around 2 months, the limbs develop, where you can actually see the legs and the hands and those things. And when it is 3 months, the organ systems develop. The digestive system can be seen, the digestive tract. Similarly, all other systems of the body also starts developing. When it is 5 months, the lesser important things like the hair on the head tends to develop. Also, the baby starts moving. So movements establish. Now, how movements establish? That happens due to that happens because of the connective tissue, the bones, the muscles, the movement, all those things get activated when it is around 5 months. Again, over 1 month, when it is 6 months, the body hair establishes, the eyelids, eyelashes, these prominent things also tend to come up. So here you can see the difference. Here it is just a shape which you can guess that it might be a baby. Later you see the limbs develop, right? You can actually see the head as a separate thing, and later over a period of time, when it is almost grown up, you can actually see everything. You can actually see that it is an entire baby inside. And finally, when it is 9 months, it is fully developed. So when it is fully developed, it is ready to come out, and that is when it is, the female gives birth to the baby. So this is how the development of the embryo takes place inside the female's body or inside the mother's body for 9 months. And this 9 months period when the development takes place inside the mother's body is known as the gestation period. So this period of 9 months is called gestation. So the gestation period are those 9 months where the development actually takes place inside the mother's body. So the 9 months period is known as the gestation period. So let us have a quick look at the various stages of the embryo. So this is how it develops. It starts from the zygote. So here you can see the zygote, which is a single cell. Then it forms the 2-celled stage. Then it forms the 4-celled stage. Then the 8-celled stage. Finally, it forms the morula. From there, it forms the blastocyst. So from here, it will start forming the blastocyst. And also, if you see that the inner layer of cells, they start dividing in a way like they start segregating each other to form the ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm. So 3 layers of cells are formed, which gradually, here you can see the different layers of cells organize themselves in different ways to form structures like this, which in turn forms the various organs. For example, in this fetus, you can actually see the digestive tract, you can see the heart, you can also, the limbs and all are not developed yet. But later, in 2 months or so, the limbs start getting developed. You can see the legs, the hands, and the head also becomes more prominent, and gradually it develops into a baby. Now here I have not mentioned all the minute details of the embryonic development, but just wanted to show you that how the changes gradually take place, because sometimes it becomes very much unbelievable to think that just a single cell, which was zygote, it actually led to the formation of a baby after 9 months. So that is why I just wanted to show you that how the mitotic division, the formation of new cells, so 3 things played an important role here. One is the cell division by mitosis. So the number of cells kept on increasing. Next was the cell differentiation. That is, group of cells differentiated to form specific tissues. And the third thing was the tissues forming organs and the organs forming the organ system. So these things together actually led to the development of the zygote into a baby. Thank you. Please visit www.examfear.com to watch more videos, attempt free online test, get free study material, find tutors and mentors. Thank you once again.